everyone, Simsy Claire here and welcome back. Today we are doing another Sims 4 speed build here in the New World Evergreen Harbor. Now, today we're building in the neighborhood that starts off neutral. The last time we built in this world, it was an industrial home over in Port Promise, and that was for my Let's Play. So today I wanted to kind of just mess around a little bit more, use a bit more from the pack, some of the more eco-friendly items to be exact, and we're doing more of a modern build as well, which I don't do that often because it's not really my style. But I think for this pack, it actually works really well, particularly with all of like the wood textures that we got and the stone textures as well for like the walls and the floors. And this house was kind of based off of a house on Pinterest. I kind of put a whole bunch of houses together, but what I really liked about the house was the fence features, if we're being honest. The one in the Pinterest picture did have like plants merged in with the fences, but I decided not to do that here. I just used the new fences that we got in this game, and they look so pretty, particularly with this house. Like I think that they were a perfect option for this pack. I'm so happy that they gave us them. You'll see when I put them around the ones that I mean. But here I'm trying to figure out the window situation. I end up using these classic full-length seamless windows, and I was trying to use some of the other new ones that we got, because I did use these in my last build, but I think I just have to play around with them a little bit more because they're really not my style. Like, I think they're such awesome pieces, but I don't really like them it's not that I don't like them. I haven't really found a spot where I want them to go because of how far they stick out from the wall, so I just need to play around with them a little bit more. But these are the fences that I was talking about, the ones that they're more like dividers, and I think that they are just so cute and so realistic, and I honestly want some of those in my backyard like right now to fence it in. But here I am. I do end up using one of the other windows because that's why I put the kitchen, so that's going to be right above the sink. So that's why I wanted there to be a shorter window there. And then here I am kind of fixing the size of the house because I thought it looked a little big. But here you see I'm messing with the roof. So originally I was going to do this like very modern, like short wall kind of a roof structure. And I get all the way to where I'm trying to place the solar panel roof because I really wanted to use that new item, but it won't let me place it because it's technically it is a roof, so it's not letting me place it. So then I try and use these like flat roofs that we got that you can unlock through the debug menu, but it won't let me place them there either. But it's so weird because you can see it's letting me place certain roofs, just not those, or not the solar panel one or the green one. So I have no idea why it wasn't working, but I end up just leaving it and using one of the other roof textures that we got. And then I go in and I start placing some lights around so that way I can work on the floor plan. And I did leave the floor plan in because it's not that big of a house. It ends up being only a 1-bedroom and 1 bathroom. Now you could definitely fit more than that in here. I have a lot of open spaces, and I also give them the sim an office, so you could turn the office into another bedroom, or you could even make like the master bedroom smaller if you really wanted to, or get rid of one of the outdoor areas. So this house could be a bit bigger and it could fit more sims, but since I was only playing with a single sim family, I was trying to give it as much open space as possible. And then here I am, I'm using the new honeycomb floors that we got. I think that those floors are absolutely adorable, and I really like the texture that they have. I think it can be a little clashy with some of the wallpapers that we got in the game, just because the wood goes in such different directions that when you place the other wood on the walls, it just looks a little weird. But I think with these walls that I have now, it looks okay, particularly with the color that I chose, because you can't really see it all that well, so I think it blends in rather nicely. And then here you see I'm going through, since I have the cheats on the hidden objects and the live edit objects cheat, I do have access to a bit more items than what technically came with the pack, because these are supposed to be unlocked by fabrication. But since this was kind of like a free build and I wasn't quite sure what I was doing with the lot yet, I figured that would be okay, and it also gave me a chance to explore a bit more of the items that we got in the pack, and therefore able to show you guys a bit more of the items that we got in the pack. And I understand why they locked these items behind the debug menu, but it is also a little frustrating because then, since they are a debug item, you can't change like the colors of them like you can normal items. So once you pick a color, you basically have to stick with it unless you want to go searching back through the debug menu for it. But that's, I mean, it's your choice. It's my choice that I chose to use the debug item, so I'm not complaining about it. I think it's a little weird that that's how it had to go, but I'm also happy that they did give us the option for it. So it's kind of a two-sided street. And then here I am placing the solar panels on the top, and I kind of went a little overboard, I will admit it, but it's helping my sim that I ended up playing in this house save a lot of energy and therefore a lot of money on her bills. So I'm kind of glad that I ended up doing it because she is now making money from her builds, and I'm just about to make this house off-grid. So I'm now storing all of the energy because I think that that's how you can get non-off-grid items to work off the grid. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure since I'm making my own energy, because technically, like, there are certain, like, my bathtub or the shower I end up placing in this build is not off the grid, so I think technically since I'm storing water, I can still use it. It's just once I'm out of water, I can't use that shower anymore. So I think that that's pretty cool, and I do end up placing a water collector off to the side. I just haven't placed it quite yet. And then here I'm going into the living room. Now my sim doesn't use this all that often. The eco lifestyle gameplay involves a lot of work, which I think is so much fun because it gets your sim out and they're always like doing something, so you're never really, you know, just like forcing your sim to sit there and watch TV. So I do think that that's really fun, but the downside to that is that she has this really cute living area that I built her right here that she almost never sits in. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, but it's still nice to look at off to the side. And then here you see I'm placing this table here, and then I'm going to go through eventually. I want to use the new TV that we got with this pack, the really small one that's supposed to be like you found it in the dumpster, but I can't place it on any table that actually came with this pack except for the coffee table, and I didn't like how it looked just sitting on the coffee table because it was kind of in the way of the fireplace, and I thought that didn't really make any sense, so I was trying to put it off to the corner here, but like I said, none of the tables from this pack worked, so I ended up taking one out from Tiny Living, I believe, and putting it on there, and I thought that it was so odd that none of the other tables from this pack could hold the table or could hold the TV. Like, I didn't understand why they did that, like why only the coffee tables could hold the TV. It just didn't really make that much sense. But here I am moving on to the kitchen. I again use these countertops, and then I also use the same fridge and stove that I used in my last build as well, because they're the only ones I saw that worked off the grid except for like the really cheap stoves, and I didn't really like the way that those worked, and they set fire a lot, so I wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to happen all the time. And then here you see I'm using this sink. I really like this sink, particularly because it has a hose off to the side. I'm pretty sure that it's supposed to be an outdoor sink, but I think it kind of works inside as well, particularly with these counters. Like, it matches the counters almost exactly, so I do place it inside twice. I believe I use it upstairs in the bathroom as well. But I just think it's such a cute item, and I think the hose, even though that's meant to be why it's outside, I think it kind of works because if you're like collecting water yourself, then obviously it has to get into your pipe somehow, so I figured like that hose is almost like the sink's pipe. Like, that's how they get the water into the sink, or at least that was what I was thinking anyway. And then here I am messing with these counters. So I've wanted to do this for a while because I do corner kitchens quite a bit. So I was trying to make a corner counter because I've seen some of these in real life, and I think that they just look so amazing, if we're being honest. So I was trying to recreate it here, and it does work, and the counter is functional. So you see this piece I place here? The only part I had issues with was trying to find something to fill in those gaps back there. So I end up using another circular piece that just doesn't have the banner, like the countertop on it. but it does kind of glitch. You can see some of the wood grains like interacting with each other as I move the camera around, but it is still playable. It didn't mess with the playability at all. And when you're in gaming mode, like when you're actually playing, it doesn't do that weird glitching thing. It's only when you're in a camera mode like this. So I think it's okay how I left it, and I think it looks really cool. And then here I am picking out some clutter decorations. Now I do apologize, I do end up using custom content in this build, and I didn't realize it when I placed it, but it is custom content. I use it 4 times in the entire build. It's these olive oil things that I placed right here, this wine, and then I grab a candle and a couple of lights as well. Now all of the objects are from the same pack. They're from the Kichen Pack by Harry and Felix. So I will link it in the description down below, but since it is such small items, if you don't like them or if you don't have that pack, this house is still super easy to download. But I do apologize that they ended up in this build. And then here I'm gonna pull out those cookbooks that I love, and then I think that that's it for the kitchen. So we're moving on into the open space over here. I placed some more windows around just to add a bit more light, because once this house goes off the grid, because this house will function off the grid, but obviously the lights won't work, so I figured once it went off the grid, having all these big windows around was going to make it like give you some more light in the build, except for at night. But that's why we have the new candle making station. And then here I originally started placing the fabricator and an art easel down here, but then I remembered I had the spot upstairs for everything, so you will see me later on move all of those objects up into that room I have in the corner there. And then here I was initially going to give this sim a woodworking table, because I thought at first that the woodworking was a part of the new fabrication career, but I haven't come across it yet, so I did decide to take it away. And then here I'm trying to find something to put on this wall. I really like all the wall decorations we got with this pack. It is a little frustrating that we didn't get any paintings, but I think that the wall decorations they gave us make up for that like tenfold, because they're so gorgeous, like every single one of them. And then here I'm trying to pick out a seating area that I want to do. I end up going with one of the fabricated dining tables. It's this table just in a different color. I think I used the gray. And then I do a couple of the fabricated outdoor dining chairs. And I do only end up giving them 3 because I initially had that plant thing in the corner, so I was trying to leave enough room for the sim to sit down with that plant thing in the corner, although I do end up deleting that plant thing, but I still leave the 3 tables, and I think it looks okay. And then you saw I just gave her that little grill there. And here I'm placing those insect farms. I think that these are a really cool object, but they take a lot in the gameplay that I have for this house. I've killed the bugs about 4 times, so I feel really bad about it, but it takes so much to keep them from dying, and sometimes like they're not nurtured, and I want my sim to go to bed, and then I send her to bed, and then they die before she wakes up. So I just need to play around with it a bit more. But they are a lot harder to take care of than the bees. And then here you see I placed that table that we got, and then I thought the wall looked a little bare. So I was trying to find some of the wood pieces that we got, and it clashes a little bit, I think, because the wall is wood. But I think it looks okay, particularly since this is a modern home. I think it kind of works off of the like seamless like wood pieces. Like I almost wanted to pretend that those were built into the wall. And then here you see I'm adding a desk, and I do end up deleting the desk because I realized she needed a recycler. So right now there's a desk here, but I do end up deleting it for a recycling machine. And then I'm putting in one of the new shelving decorations that we got, and I really love all the shelves. I think that they did such a good job giving us an array of different options, particularly ones that we can clutter up ourselves, because it just makes it a lot easier. Like we can pick what decorations we want to go in them. And then here you see I'm cluttering up. I put that plant in there, and then I added a table to the desk, or a table lamp to the desk. And I'm adding another light in here because that room just seemed really dark for some reason. And then I'm moving on into the bathroom. I used the new bathroom stuff that we got with this pack, and except for that sink, as I said downstairs, I end up using this outdoor sink again just because I liked how it looked with the walls, and I wanted to put a counter in So I thought that it would look better than that more modern looking sink in this space. And then I'm pulling out a couple of clutter decorations. These towels are again from that same pack, or not from the same pack. These are from the Bafroom Pack, but they are from the same creators, from Felix and Harry. So again, they're just small decorations. So if you don't have that custom content pack in your game, it should be easy. The house is still downloadable. And then I'm placing this shower here from Seasons because I prefer showers for gameplay. I think the baths take really long. Particularly, I've been having that issue with my Let's Play on this channel. I don't know if it's a glitch or if it's just the new bathtub or if it's because I haven't played with bathtubs in a while, but their baths seem to be taking forever. And I'm not quite sure what that is. But here you see I'm placing the wash bucket from Laundry Day. And then I put the laundry line downstairs. And then I can't remember if it's in the screenshots or not, but I do end up having to move that laundry line upstairs because the Sims can't carry the laundry down the ladder. So in order for her to hang her laundry up, it had to be on the same level as the wash bucket. And I really didn't want the wash bucket to be outside. I thought that would, because then if it rained, she'd have to wash her laundry outside. So I did want to leave it here. So I end up just putting the laundry line up on the top deck. And that I moved the planter thing and the everything around a little bit. And then here you see I'm trying to mess with these curtains. It was working a little weird because I do have two different shaped windows on this wall. I have the really thin one and then the two space one, so I couldn't get any curtains to work, but I thought that was okay because I don't always put curtains in my build to begin with. So I didn't really think it was missing anything here. And then there you saw I pulled out some more lights from the Kichen Pack that I used downstairs, and then a table lamp, and then a little flower piece over here on that table. And here I am picking out which dresser I want to use. I originally put everything over in this corner, and then when I remembered that she had a dog, I end up trying to fit a dog bed in here. So I move everything around a little bit because since the dog beds are so big, it's really hard for your Sims to get around them, so I wanted to make sure that she could access her bed. So I do end up putting the dog bed in that corner, and then I just move the dresser over in this direction. And I was having an issue getting a second Sim to sleep in the bed because the dog bed was in the way, so I did end up I put it in the hallway whenever the Sim's boyfriend spends the night, just so that way the Sim can get to the bed. And then here I am just adding a beehive. At the time I didn't know you could get beeswax from the beehive. I just thought it was a cute object to put with the rest of her bugs. But I'm really happy that I did because it does give you beeswax, so she's able to make more candles since she has that option. And then here I am trying to find a spot for this dog toy holder. I end up putting it out here. I just get rid of that chair, and I think it works a lot better because I wasn't sure if the Sims could sit in that chair anyway because of how close it was to the couch that I had placed outside. And then here I am moving on to the outside permanently. I'm gonna start landscaping here in a second, and I use pretty much all debug items just because all of the plants for this pack were locked behind the debug menu. Which, it's fine because I always build with the debug menu on, but I think it's important to note that in these videos, just in case people are like, where did you get all these plants? They are all in the debug menu. And if you filter through Eco Lifestyle, they're really easy to find as well. But I do end up, there's a lot of like lavender plants and like wild grasses, and I thought that was important since the Sim is a green fiend. I thought it would be like she would definitely leave her house and her lawn more natural. That way she wasn't affecting the environment too much, so I definitely thought that matched with her style. And here you see I pull out these canvas art pieces, and then that's when I start going into the landscaping. And now that we are onto the landscaping, that is pretty much it for this build. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm really happy that I now have this pack and I've been playing with it, so I understand it a little bit better. And I think that all the objects are so cute, and the gameplay for it, even though it's complicated, I really enjoy it because it's so rewarding when the world turns green. So thank you all for hanging out with me today. I hope you liked this video and you stick around for the next one, and be sure to check out my Let's Play. It'll be uploading on Wednesdays and Saturdays on my channel. So I hope to see you all there. Bye guys!